There's a time and a place for batteries. The place is the dumpster, and even for rechargeables, the time is eventually. I hate them. Most of the batteries you buy are gonna end up leaching nasty chemicals into the environment somewhere, and even if you prefer coal rolling to tree hugging, they're a massive inconvenience. I mean, yes, in some places they make sense. I mean, who would want a wire permanently attached to their TV remote? But what in the sandhill is this? And where is the plug? No! I reject your reality and I substitute my own. But don't get the wrong idea. This is no Adam Savage level mod. Converting a battery powered device like this one to take regular wall power is both fast and easy. I don't think this is gonna happen. And, if you don't mind taking some shortcuts, it can be shockingly inexpensive. Unlike sponsorships for this channel, like the one we sold to
CableMod. Elevate your RGB keyboard experience with CableMod's beautiful ABS laser keycaps featuring unique designs and maximum glow. Learn more at the link down below.
This trend towards filling up our homes with stationary objects that require regular battery replacements is baffling and infuriating to me. Because when I say regular battery replacements, I'm being extremely generous. A, they tend to fail in a staggered rather than predictable manner, meaning there's basically always something in your house waiting for you to grab a step stool and pop in a new power pod. And these CR whatever the craps they are anything but regular. I mean, they're mostly similar, generally kind of button shaped and 3-ish volts and lithium based, but they come in a wide variety of diameters and thicknesses to the point where trying to predict and stock everything you might need will make you feel like you're some kind of career procurement officer. But then you're good, right? Once you've got them all in your little organizer. Well, no. Like any batteries, they have a finite shelf life, so you can't order too many of them. You should spend that money instead on stocking up on waffle sweaters from lttstore.com. We've got lots of different colors now. To be clear, I fully support the idea of optional battery power or battery backups in the event of a power loss. This is especially important for devices like smoke detectors or emergency lighting that must operate even in the event of a power outage, or for devices with volatile memory. But if I had a battery in every stupid connected thing in my house, it wouldn't matter if they all boasted 1-year battery life. It would be a weekly chore to be going around and swapping out and ordering new battery inventory. Even without much smart home nonsense, it was getting to that point at my old place. Which is why I implemented the 0 batteries policy for my new house. Everything from security sensors to doorbells to smoke detectors is hardwired. And it was working great.
Until ecobee screwed me over with the smart sensor.
Due to a questionable design choice by the original owners of this house, the 2 bedrooms that we're about to walk through are on the same in-floor heating zone. Now, this could have been rectified during our renovation, but it would have basically involved ripping out the existing tubing, which is embedded in concrete by the way, and running new loops down to the basement mechanical room. Yeah, that wasn't gonna happen. Which means that a single thermostat right here controls the heating for both of those rooms. That's not inherently a huge problem given that both rooms face the same direction and have similar sized windows, except that the thermostat, and therefore our temperature sensor, is in a completely different space, in the hallway. And my daughters were thoroughly unimpressed to find that the new in-floor heat didn't activate for them at all. Because even though the upstairs hallway doesn't actually have tubes running under it, heat rises, and enough rose from downstairs that their thermostat was always reporting a comfortable temperature. Now, one way around this is offsets. ecobee, and most other thermostats for that matter, has a simple interface that allows you to take the temperature of the room in your desired spot, then key in an adjustment that allows you to account for that difference. This is a great solution if your sensor happens to be right next to a window and you don't want the rest of the room to end up being stifling hot. But for the girls, it wouldn't do me a lick of good because the in-floor heating and the sensor are on the opposite sides of a wall. I'd actually end up with the opposite problem. They'd end up with heat stroke in the middle of winter. How embarrassing. Thankfully, there is a solution for this. ecobee allows you to pair one or multiple smart sensors to your thermostat wirelessly to feed back data on both temperature and occupancy, ensuring that on average, your room is comfortable. So I picked up a 2-pack of these, only to find out that there is absolutely no way to power them without batteries. And wildly, this wasn't even a case of me just buying the wrong version. There is no wall-powered smart sensor. What the heck, ecobee? Fortunately, converting a battery-powered smart sensor to a wall-powered one should only take a few minutes. Here's one right here. By their nature, all battery-powered devices will have their power contacts easily accessible. All we need to do is get the same DC voltage that the battery was supplying to those contacts. So our battery here is a CR2477, runs at 3 volts, which is pretty typical of a button cell, but not that typical of a wall power supply. That's okay though, we have some options. You can get your hands on 3-volt power supplies or variable power supplies, but I promised that this was gonna be extremely cheap if you were willing to take some shortcuts, remember? And that's exactly what we're gonna be doing. 5-volt low amperage USB power supplies like this are flippin' everywhere. They cost just a few dollars to buy brand new, and realistically, you probably have a handful of them lying around already. It is possible that your device would actually take the 5-volt output from this just fine. We talked in more detail about how to tell if a device has a range of acceptable input voltages in our recent video about converting old game consoles to USB-C. But the smart sensor, unfortunately, does not. It's pretty sensitive, and we need to get exactly 3.2 volts, which is the nominal voltage of these button cells, into it. So here is how we're going to do it. There are a number of different ways to step down the voltage coming out of our wall wart, depending on your tolerance for ratchetness. Our first attempt simply used resistors. We did manage to get the voltage down to about 3 volts, but what we found was that once the device actually booted up, it dropped down to 1.7 or so, which caused it to not boot up anymore. So instead, we're going with this MIC 5504 voltage regulator, which gets us down to 3.3 volts, not quite low enough, and this 1000 ohm potentiometer, which is basically a variable resistor. The total cost, about 40 cents. To do this over again, I would probably just buy a 3-volt voltage regulator, but they're less common and we didn't have any lying around, so this is the route we took. The one thing to watch out for when you're using a voltage regulator though, is that the higher power draw the device is, the more heat it might kick out if you're inputting a higher voltage than what it's expecting. So it's not like a magic, oh, I have 1000 volts incoming and I need 5, I'll just put one of these on here. It doesn't really work like that. It needs to be kind of close. For wiring, I'm just grabbing an old USB-A to mini B cable that I don't need anymore. And to cleanly pass it into my device, I'm just gonna drill a small hole in the existing backplate. Oh yeah, so clean, love it. I do not have the best wire strippers for these tiny little wires. I haven't yet. These are my old janky ones. Honestly, a fingernail is probably better than these. The black and red wires in here should be 5 volt, but we're just gonna sanity check that real quick here. 4.95, perfect. Now things are about to get extremely spicy. Unlike Dan, who did the proof of concept for this, I do not have helping hands or a proper soldering workbench or really any of the things that I need to work on this. So, good luck to me soldering this to that. Okay, that actually went better than I expected. All I have to do is about 10 more successful micro solders. I hate my flux, I hate my flux. This is really crappy old flux, but the best flux is the flux you have. And if you don't like it, go flux yourself. Whoops. Did I say 40 cents? I meant 80 cents. I love Dan for how awesome he is, but I hate him for how he makes the rest of us look. If you're watching this thinking, surely there must be an easier way. Yes, the easier way is to not use surface mount components like this that are intended for like board manufacturing. Our red and black cables go into a Y splitter and directly into our potentiometer respectively. It goes out into our 3.3 volt regulator, and then we just need to dial in the pot to make sure that the voltages going out to our ecobee smart sensor are exactly 3.2 volts. So let's just go ahead and double check that. 3.26, okay, well, we'll need to adjust that. Oh boy, I turned that way too much. Okay, Gordon, I might need you to hold this steady. 3.1 should be fine. Okay, let's go try it. Obviously the stand isn't really designed to account for this extra weight off of the back, but that's okay, it's a minor problem, we'll solve that another day. Let's plug this bad boy in. Yep. And I guess this dresser stays that far from the wall now. Okay. Add a new sensor. Blah, 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 blah. Sure, fine. Oh, I gotta scan the QR code inside it. If I break this wiring, I will be extremely unhappy. Select an ecobee device to connect to this smart sensor. Okay. Sure, connect. Is it gonna work? There's no lights on it or anything because it's designed to run on battery for like 2 years or something like that. Is this one of those cases where I have over-engineered the solution? Yeah, most people probably aren't gonna do this. Shoot, I think I have to adjust that pot again. One of the troubleshooting steps is to bring the sensor closer to your thermostat. Maybe that's the problem?
Nope.
Okay, it's basically at exactly 3.2 now. I wonder if it's dead. This may have been more trouble than it was worth. Let's try a different sensor real quick here. It's one of those things where I hate every moment of it while I'm doing it, but as soon as I'm done, I can't wait to do it again, you know? Why is my hobbyist this? Why are you 4.2 volts? Well, I sincerely hope I didn't fry this thing. 3.175. Okay, let's try it. Boop. Girls' room.
Nope.
Hello, go ahead.
Hey, you're on speaker. I'm at my wit's end here.
Okay. Could be that it's registered to the ecobee here.
No, I tried popping your thing into a different one. It's at 3.200 volts. Exactly what you specified. I accidentally ran it at a higher voltage momentarily. It was at like 4.5. Do you think I just fried it?
No, I was doing that a lot. What you could try doing is lower, or like increasing the voltage, turning down the pot until it spikes up to 4, and then increasing it from there to bring it back down to 3.2. I think it has a large bit of draw right at the start, and that screws with our little jank system.
Oh, I think we've reached the point in this video where I can't say that I would recommend doing this.
Hey guys, Dan here. I figured out what was going wrong with Linus's ecobee. One of the little tiny wires inside the USB end actually broke, and so we weren't getting the full 5 volts that we needed to make it run at all. Linus actually did a great job with the impossible soldering task that I gave him. I hope you can appreciate just how absolutely tiny some of these SMD-sized components are. I mean, honestly, could you solder onto that? Like in your carpet? That's nuts. These do come in larger versions, but we didn't have any on site, so I had to kind of make do with what we had. However, while troubleshooting, I actually did find a better solution that's kind of, Linus proof. Look at the size of this guy. It's giant. I don't even have to use tweezers to hold it up. Far easier. I've done a little test setup here so you can kind of see how they work. It's really neat. We can use 3 of them in series to step down the voltage to exactly what we want. If we wanted a lower voltage, then we could just add more. In the first section before the diode, we're getting our 5 volts. That's directly right out of our USB wall wart. And at the final position, we're getting 4.3. Now that's not the 3 volts we need, which is kind of weird. Because there's no current being sucked out of the diodes, the circuit kind of doesn't know what's going on, and the power supply doesn't know what's going on. Nothing's being drawn. As soon as we add our ecobee sensor in here, on our first section we're getting 5.1, on our second section we're getting 4.7, in our third section we're getting 4.3, and then finally on the output we're now hovering around 4 volts. So we've stepped down like a whole volt. These ecobees, they're ultra low draw devices. These draw like 0.005 of a milliamp, which is almost nothing. When we're about to pair them, they're actually drawing a lot of current. They know that they're not paired, and they're drawing 30 to 50 milliamps, and that's kind of what we're seeing when we're dropping down to our 3 volts initially. Every 4 to 10 minutes, you get a little spike of 7 milliamps. This is one of the reasons Linus was struggling so much, because it's asking for wildly different amounts of current. I think this is kind of one of the weirder devices in this category to convert to battery power. I think both of us learned quite a lot on this interesting little project. And here's another little finished one I did. I'm happy to be done with this. However, Linus doesn't know any of this because he was trying it about a week ago. Let's see how he does.
Here's what we're gonna do. Okay, we're gonna unplug it. Oh, shoot! I just melted a bunch of the plastic housing. Oh, it still fits, thank goodness. Now we just need to go into Home Assistant and see if we're actually getting a readout from it. Holy crap, I think it might be working. Let's take it into the room. Holy crap. I will come up with a better system for this later. And we finally got a temperature update. It's about a 20-minute cycle time, which I guess makes sense on a device that's intended to run for years on a button cell. But anyway, the point is, it's flipping working, which means I don't have to run the heat pump in the winter anymore. See you later. Wait, yeah, how does this work? I'm so excited this worked. I'm not excited to do up another 2 of them without Dan's help, but I am excited to tell you about our sponsor.
A big thank you to Vessi for sponsoring today's video. Wet socks. See, even hearing the words makes you cringe. Don't worry, Vessi's on the case. Vessi Footwear claims that their Dymatex technology makes their shoes 100% waterproof and keeps your feet cool in the summer and warm in the winter. And their new Stormburst shoes combine the comfort of a sneaker with the grip and coverage of an outdoor boot. Vessi has added extra layering for added warmth, as well as extra grip to prevent you from slipping and sliding in unfavorable weather conditions. Unless you want to, even then it'll be hard. Most boots are hard to put on and take off, not the Stormbursts. Take them off and put them on with ease thanks to the handy pull tabs. The Stormbursts are feature-packed and will make great gifts with the unpredictable spring weather coming up. So check out the Vessi Stormburst and other styles at vessi.com/LinusTechTips and use code LTT for 15% off your entire order. This is a pretty good deal.
If you guys enjoyed this video, maybe go check out the one where Jake helped me hack together this whole Ecobee Home Assistant thing in the first place. It's pretty interesting, actually. This is not how these things are intended to be used.